Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, I'm gonna be honest with you. In the last couple months, I've just been a little bit more depressed than usual. And it's not because I've been thinking too much or I'm unhappy of where I am in life, but it's because of the time of year we're in. In my opinion, this is the toughest time of the year in Colorado because in the last 4 months, we've been in this dark, cold winter. And although winter is over, we're in this weird transition period where one day looks like this, then the next day looks like this, then the next day looks like this. And after a while, this weather just really gets to you. I mean, my poor southern blood just can't handle it sometimes. But after a while, you just get so frustrated because you want this warm weather, but you're in this period of flip-flop. But once summer finally comes, you have this deep appreciation and you want to embrace every single second by doing things like being outside all the time, going to concerts, and enjoying a cold beer outside at a brewery. You know, I often preach a message about being frugal and saving money. However, in this video, I want to preach a different message, and it's this. You should buy nothing, but just not right now. There's a time and place to save money and cut spending. However, this is the time of the year when we need to live life to the fullest. As summer approaches, we need to spend a little bit more and save a little bit less to enjoy this amazing season of life. So in this video, I want to talk about the importance of the seasons of life and living this season of life to the fullest. So let's begin. Chapter 1. The Seasons of Life. If you live in a temperate climate, you go through a period of 4 different seasons, and I like to view these seasons as something much bigger than just changes of weather, because I see fall as the season of change, winter as a season of reflection, spring as the season of anticipation, and summer as the season of celebration. And in each season, you live your life a little bit differently. And when you live with seasons, you have a deep appreciation for each season. There's a quote that goes, "You can't enjoy a sunny day without a couple rainy days." When it comes to how I view money and how I spend it, I like to view it in seasons, where I have some seasons where I'm a little bit more frugal and I save more, and then I have other seasons where I spend a little bit more and save less. I mean, if you just indulge all the time, you end up never having any appreciation in life. It's like living in a warm island climate that never changes. And after so long, you get so used to the climate that you can no longer see the beauty in what you have. On the other hand, if you're always extremely frugal and save everything, then you end up living this life of deprivation. It's like being trapped in this dark Scandinavian winter, where you get so focused on just surviving that you never end up enjoying anything. Just like how there are seasons of weather, there are seasons of money. And with money, you can't take anything too far, whether that's living an extremely essential life or living an extremely materialistic life. You have to find this balance where you're not living this life of deprivation, but you're also not just constantly struggling financially. When you view money as different seasons of life, it helps you comprehend it a little bit more. So now, let's move on and talk a little bit about frugality. Chapter 2. The Season of Frugality. So as I just said, at its extreme, I would say the season of frugality is living through a long, dark, cold Scandinavian winter where all you're focused on is survival. And although I never like to view frugality in this extreme way, to some extent, frugality means not indulging, preparing, and limiting yourself. When you're living a frugal life, you're living with a little bit more intention. You're reflecting on yourself a little bit more. And in life, we need these periods or these seasons where we're a little bit more conscious with how we spend our money. We need these seasons where we're a little bit more frugal and we do things like become intentional of where our money is going. say no to things, and break wasteful spending habits. Because this frugal season helps you gain control over your finances. It's living through that Scandinavian winter where you take a moment to step back, reflect, and make positive changes in your life. And although it's not always easy, and it's not always enjoyable, this season is important. Because if you don't take moments to just stop and reflect on your habits, it's like being trapped in this warm island climate where you're living an unintentional life and you can no longer see the beauty in what you have. You take everything for granted and you become a slave to your bad financial habits. You can't truly enjoy a beautiful summer without going through a tough winter, and you can't truly enjoy your money and your stuff if you're just indulging all the time. The season of frugality is important because it allows you to stop, reflect, and make positive changes in your life. And although it's not the most enjoyable season, it's important and it helps you see the beauty in what you have. So now, let's move on and talk about anticipation. Chapter 3, the season of anticipation. Here in Colorado, we're over winter, but we're not quite in summer yet. We're in this season of anticipation where the weather is just constantly changing. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, it really affects your mood. However, with this prolonged springtime, you get this very deep sense of anticipation because with each day, it gets a little bit warmer and a little bit more stable and a little closer to summertime. And anticipation is a beautiful thing because it gives you this deep sense of appreciation in life. And when you live your life in a frugal way, you're living with more anticipation and you're living with more appreciation in life. In that Scandinavian cabin, when the snow starts to melt and the green leaves start to appear, you get more excited for what's to come. When you don't indulge all the time with your spending, you understand what you have and you have this deep appreciation for what you have. Whereas if you live in a non-temperate climate where it just stays warm year-round, it's sort of like living this life of indulgence, where although the weather is great, it's the same year-round and there's no anticipation for what's to come. When I was living in Ecuador, I spent 2 years with no seasons because Ecuador is on the equator, so there's no seasons despite what the locals say. But when you're living in this consistently warm environment, it's nice, but you don't have any appreciation for it. And with money, if you're just indulging all the time, you don't enjoy anything. You don't have this appreciation for what you have. But when you live your life with anticipation and wait for things in life, you have this big sense of appreciation. You have this deep sense of what you have. And although it might be annoying and depressing at times, in the end, you see the beauty of it. So now, let's move on and talk about celebration. Chapter 4, the season of celebration. Each season in life has a purpose. As I said, there's this season of frugality and reflection, and there's this season of anticipation and appreciation. The title of this video is Buy Nothing, but Just Not Right Now. I preach a lot about being frugal and saving money because I think it's important. However, if all you do is just cut your spending and save money, I think that you're missing the point of being frugal and managing your money because in my opinion, the point of all of this is so that you have more money to do what you want in life. If you live in the Northern Hemisphere, we're approaching the season of celebration. We're approaching arguably the best time of the year, the time of the year where you can finally leave that cold cabin in the woods and reap the fruits of your labor. When you make financial accomplishments, you should reap the benefits. You should do more of what you want to do because you made positive financial changes in your life and you have more money to do what you want. You should do more of what you want to do because we're approaching the time of the year where the days are longer and you can explore more. The nights are warmer and you can celebrate longer. And nature puts on a grand performance. It's important to have a balance in life where you have seasons where you focus on your finances and accomplishing things financially. But it's also important to have other seasons where you enjoy life and reap the benefits of what you want to do. So buy nothing, but just not right now. Spend a little bit more, save a little bit less, be a little bit less frugal because we're approaching the season of celebration where you should reap the benefits of all your accomplishments, the most wonderful time of the year. So now I just want to finish this video with one final thought. Chapter 5, the reason for the seasons. As I said in the beginning of this video, we have 4 seasons. The season of change, the season of reflection, the season of anticipation, and the season of celebration. Each season makes you live your life a bit differently. Each season teaches you different lessons. And the reason we have seasons is because one day God woke up and said, "Dinosaurs, you're done." And an asteroid hit the earth. And we're next, ladies and gentlemen. But instead of God doing it, we're just going to do it to ourselves because we are the self-proclaimed smartest species on planet Earth by default. But really, the true reason we have seasons is because they teach you that not every moment in life is enjoyable. You can't just have warm weather and sunny skies because even if you did, you would live without appreciation because you can't enjoy a sunny day without a couple rainy days. It's the same with money. There's a time to be extremely frugal and hone in on your finances, and there's another season to lighten up and reap the benefits of your labor and celebrate the season. And as we enter the season of celebration, if you are in a good financial situation, I encourage you to spend a little bit more. Enjoy this season to the fullest because the point of being responsible financially is so that you have more money and more options to do more of what you want. So buy nothing, but just not right now. Enjoy the season of celebration because life is too short to live forever in winter. And with that, muchas gracias. Que tenga un buen día. Video 115. Nos vemos, chicos.